friendship that'll never ever end.
Run!
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Reaction Beanie 466. Day in that neighborhood. My brothers and sisters, we have made it halfway through the work week once again, my friends. It is Wednesday. And since it's Wednesday, y'all know who we about to go back to. Mike from that chapter. That chapter Wednesdays, y'all, it is always a delight when we get to go back to Mike. And the title of the video is Mass Killer Realizes Cops Know His Secret. Now, the main thing I'm wondering, y'all, is this mass killer gonna be acting all surprised? Like, what? Y'all found out that I'm a mass murderer? You know what I'm saying, man? Is he gonna be acting like he's shocked that they found out about him killing all these people? Like, I feel like if a freaking mass murderer killing a lot of people, bro, if a person killing a lot of people, then you should kind of expect that the cops gonna find out eventually. You know what I'm saying, man? But I can't even put my brain into the mindset and have the same brain that a freaking mass murderer have. So ain't no telling how the freak this person that we finna watch from this video gonna react. But I'm just ready to see it. I'm ready to get into it, my brothers and sisters. Another That Chapter Wednesday. But before we get into this That Chapter Wednesday, y'all know what y'all got to do. Get whatever you may need. Get what you need, please. We back to Mike from That Chapter. Y'all got what y'all need. Y'all ready to go? Then let's go.
That good things could grow where evil was destroyed. You might not see it like that, but it's quite possible that these families will now become closer, stronger where they were. That maybe those children might be better growing up without their father.
Hey you, and welcome. My name is Mike, and in this old video, we are going to the small town of Amity, Maine. Our main man, Thane Ormsby. In a very quiet and remote part of New England, this kid had been taken in by a good-natured family just trying to help out. However, he took, and when he was finally told no, for a very good reason, kind of maybe, because there's still a lot of questions in this case, this kid ended up doing the unthinkable. You know, it's funny that this story is set in Maine, because it's like something directly out of a Stephen King book. So there you go, hint hint, folks. Now, let's give it a go.
Let's give it a go. And get whatever you may need. I think we in for an interesting one, y'all. I think we in for an interesting one with this one, just because of the fact that this dude was like put into a great situation, you know what I'm saying, to the point where he pretty much was getting spoiled. But it was that one time when his parents, I don't think they his parents, his guardians, whoever they are, told him no, and now he just flipped the freak out. That's what it sounds like so far. Let's go.
So, our story takes place in the small itty-bitty town of Amity, Maine. It sits on the US-Canadian border, and I kind of had to do a double take when I saw the population level, because I don't think a town is the word for it. I think hamlet might be more appropriate if they... Do we still call things hamlet? Is that in the dictionary? As of 2020, the population was just 253 people. So you can just imagine when something goes down here, everybody knows about it, and it most likely affects every single person in the town, all 253 of them. A quick
Small ain't the word. Yeah, this not a town. This a hamlet or whatever. Mike just said, man. This one of those type of towns where there's only one red light in the whole goddamn freaking town, y'all. There's one main road. You go through that main road, you pass that red light, you out of the town. You go back the other way and pass that red light, you in the town. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those type.
Look on Google Maps shows there are no restaurants in Amity. No hotels, no tourist attractions. I mean, literally nothing. Well, okay, they do have 2 whole cemeteries, so look at you. There's probably more dead people in the town than living people. Although I suppose there's kind of more dead people anywhere than living people. It's so remote that, no joke, when I Google map this sumbitch, I was like, where is, I had to put on my glasses. I was like, where is this town? Where, I can't see it. You've taken me there and I still can't see it. If you don't have like a big old 4x4 extra tires survival equipment, you ain't gonna last long out in this absolute wilderness. And that's, like, even if you don't, like, even before you probably get run off the road by the logging trucks that essentially own this part of the state. That's the setting for today's story, because that's where Thane Ormsby was living, and also that's where, in 2010, there was a brutal triple murder and a hunt for a killer.
Whether you ask people in the tiny Aroostook County town of Amity or state police around here, the answer is the same. They don't think there's ever been a triple homicide in this area and can't remember the last time something as violent as this happened. For family of the victims, it's sickening.
Well, we were quite scared, to tell you the truth, and this is really, you know, for something like this to happen in a small town like this, you just can't believe it. Can't believe it.
And this just a great video to just remind all of us that anything can happen anywhere. You know what I'm saying, y'all? In this little small ass freaking town, there still was someone who took 3 people's lives and murdered them. It don't matter. It could be the biggest city in the world. It can be the smallest town in the world. Murders happen every freaking where.
Thane Ormsby was born May 22nd, 1992, Maria Ormsby. He had a troubled childhood, has kind of been continuously reported on, but then again, by all accounts, he was always described as a kind of quote-unquote, a good guy. What does that mean? He attended Ellsworth High School in Ellsworth, where he grew up. Ellsworth's a fair distance from Amity, about 2 hours, 40 minutes away. He was on both the wrestling team and was part of the cross-country track teams. He was even an honors student, reportedly. Yet, the thing about Thane is he was a young man who lived quite a lot of, like a life of contradictions. He was like top of the class, yet he never finished high school. He was big into, you know, cross-country and fitness, yet he never seemed to fit in around other people. He was described as a good guy, yet would go on to do horrific things. But he attended church regularly, by all accounts, likable guy. I mean, you know, we're going chronologically, so, you know, no spoiler alerts. Some of his friends, though, on the wrestling team said he could be a bit rough. He was super strong. But again, nothing like too dork about this guy. According to a psychiatrist, this is later on in his life, he did suffer physical and emotional neglect as a kid. He was removed from his mother at age 12, and he never received, it seemed like he was somebody who needed help from quite a young age, and if they just kind of like nipped that in the bud, things could have turned out quite differently. He lived with his uncle for a time before dropping out of high school, and then he was taken under the wing of a political candidate in Maine, a guy named John Frary, who was campaigning for Congress in 2008.
I've often wondered what was really in Mike Michau's lunchbox. Let's see. Just as I suspected. Baloney, because the truth, in fact, is not always pretty. Unlike me.
Thane was housed and given a few dollars in exchange for working on his campaign. This John Frary guy also tried to give, young Ormsby some purpose in life by encouraging him to get into the Marines, thinking that would instill a sense of purpose and discipline into the young fella. After all, this part of his life, like I was saying, Thane seemed quite aimless. In fact, probably joining the military, from what people described him, maybe it would have helped him actually quite a bit. He seems like some guy who, military would be good for him. But reportedly, Thane poo-pooed that idea, and they fell out. They fell out over a washing machine, of all things, if you can believe that. Thane then moved in with a local reverend who also tried to help him out, but that didn't go anywhere either. In fact, it seems like he had quite a lot of people around him who tried to help out. It's a politician guy, a religious guy, family, and still, things just didn't work. Some people you kind of can't help, I guess.
Exactly, Mike. Boy, you just took the words out of my mouth, and I was just about to talk about that, y'all. Like, this dude, he getting a lot of support from people who trying to help him go from a boy to a man. You know what I'm saying? Trying to help him walk into that adulthood with a lot of support, but it's like everybody who trying to help you, it just ain't working. And it's basically what Mike said, man. Some people you just can't freaking help. And y'all know some people like that in your life too. Tell the truth. We all know them people. And I'm not even just saying family members. It may be friends or just people you know as associates. You know what I'm saying? Where it's just they helpless. Like, seriously, man. There's nothing you can do for them. Anyway, this is starting off very interesting, man. Let's go.
Thane eventually went to live with the Strout family up in Amity. This was in 2010 when Thane Ormsby was just 20 years of age. And that is when things went very, very wrong. Insert a dun 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 here, me, when I'm editing this video later. And before I continue, let me just talk to you for a second about this whole video's sponsor, and that, my friends.
Yeah, man, like, I don't know, y'all. I'm sitting up here thinking about that. Like, that junk is for real, man. Like, it's people out here that they don't want to be helped. I don't know how many of y'all know the song, man, but it's an old song from, I think, like back in the 90s. Don't save her. She don't want to be saved. Don't save her. She don't want to be saved. And that goes for not just her. It can be a him. It could be whoever. And that song was talking about a little different than what I'm talking about. But it's still the same thing, man. Still the same freaking thing, y'all. Anyway, let me quit running my mouth and let's get back into it.
So Thane moved to remote-ass Maine, and there he helped the Strouts with cooking, cleaning, and tending to their birds on their remote property in return for room and board. Not sure what he was looking for there, or if he found it, but maybe he just wanted to get away from it all. I don't think he was ever in it all. But unfortunately, that's not what happened, because it was there that it all, what am I talking about, would happen. Robert and Joy Strout were a middle-aged couple. They had a son and a daughter, and their daughter, Tamara, was reportedly a friend of Thane's mother, Maria. Hence how the Strouts knew Thane and, you know, why they took them in, how he ended up there, friends of the family. Now, 4 miles down the road from the Strout family was their neighbor. Yeah, this is a part of the, like, so remote that 4 miles down the road counts as your next door neighbor. And that was a guy named Jeffrey Ryan. Now, Jeff and the Strouts, they didn't get on terribly well. They weren't like busy mates. Because Jeff Ryan and Tamara, they were actually married. They had been married and they were now divorced, and they had had a kid together. Now, reportedly, their separation was none too amicable. It wasn't all amicable in Amity, let me tell you. But Jeff and Tamara, they had a teenage daughter together named Mariah. She was 16 years of age. Now, Jeff Ryan, he also had a son of his own. He had a son with another woman, 10-year-old Jesse Ryan. On June 23rd, 2010, a fella named Jake DeHaan ventured to the trailer of Jeff Ryan. This was at 163 US Route 1. Jake's brother, Jason, hadn't returned home from Jeffrey's place after what was supposed to be a visit the day before, and, you know, Jake couldn't get a hold of his brother, so Jake decided, hey, my brother Jason was last here at Jeff's, I'll go with you. He rocked up, he knocked on the trailer door a couple of times, couldn't see any movement. Jeff Ryan had a Ford F-150 that wasn't parked out front, so whole place kind of seemed empty, but he was wondering, was my brother supposed to be here, but he never... Where is he? Eventually, Jake, he got a flashlight and he started shining it in the windows of the trailer. And that's when he froze. Because through one window, he could see inside the trailer the unmistakable... It was covered in blood. He quickly called his father to report his findings. The pair of them, they busted the way into the trailer. And what they found inside there, well, it would haunt anybody for the rest of their lives, what they would see. 10-year-old Jesse Ryan, Jeffrey Ryan's son, was slain, covered in blood after being brutally stabbed to death. Jesse Ryan was the son of Jeffrey Ryan and Jamie Merrill. He lived with his mom in Lewiston, which is about a 4-hour drive from Amity. Jamie said Jesse had gotten to Amity on the 20th of June in order to spend Father's Day with his dad, Jeff Ryan. Upon arrival of the police, they undertook a search of the property, where Jeffrey Ryan's slain body was discovered in a woodshed, and Jason DeHaan was found in a ditch on the property, after seemingly attempting to flee his attacker. All three had been stabbed multiple times, and Jason's throat had been sliced open. Jesse is...
I mean, this man just ain't got no, I guess all killers don't got no morals, so that's not the right word. Standards? Like, I don't know what the right word is, y'all. But what I'm saying is, like, the fact that he killed the little boy too, the little 10-year-old, like, you don't have no boundaries to your murders. You just murder anybody. You know what I'm saying, man? From 10 to freaking 90, you don't care. Like, that just fucking just make my I can't even speak right. My goddamn blood boil, my brothers and sisters. And even just not him, just the fact that you killed all three of them. Like, I feel like if you attack three people with a knife and kill them, you stab all of them to death pretty much. You know what I'm saying? That's a long time for you to be doing that. It take a while to do that to three people. So within that time frame, you ought to been snapped out of your rage, your fit of rage, or whatever you mad about. That's enough time for you to at least think about what the hell you doing. It's different than if you just shoot three people real quick. You know what I'm saying? It happened a lot faster. Not excusing none of it. All of it is still effed up, and you need to be held accountable. But I just feel like somebody who will stab three freaking people, yeah, you had enough time to be in your right mind to know that what the you doing is wrong. You know what I'm saying? And they don't care. Long story short, story long, man. I'm trying to do all this to try to rationalize and try to make sense of the situation. But at the end of the day, these freaking murderers like this, they don't care. And I can't make sense of the unsenseless. Is that even a word? Y'all know what I'm saying. Shit. Let's go.
Assumed to have run and hidden in the back room of the trailer from his attacker, but terrifyingly, he was found. As the investigation went on, police noticed tire tracks leading from the scene. Tracks that were led to, believe were Jeff's missing 1989 Ford F-150 pickup. With a small lead to start, police started knocking on doors, trying to track down this truck, as whoever stole it was likely the killer. In a small, town, whatever you want to call it, of 200 and something people, it shouldn't be that hard to find somebody knows something. Although small town, big wilderness, lots of wilderness.
Yeah, true.
Jason DeHaan left behind a wife, Crystal, and 3 young children. Jeff and Jason had been best friends, and Jason would often pop by for a beer and just hang out, shoot the shit. Jason had taken his ATV down a rural road to visit his parents, and it seems that on the way, Jason stopped in to see his friend Jeff first. According to reports, Jason's 9-year-old daughter almost went with him that day, as she would often accompany him to visit Jeff's home, as his son Jesse. They were of similar age. It's a blessing in disguise that for whatever reason that day she didn't go with her dad to Jeff's place.
3 people are dead, including a 10-year-old boy, and state police are calling their deaths a homicide. Investigators say a relative found the bodies last night in a mobile home on Route 1 in the town of Amity, just south of Holton, and they still don't know who did it. As News 8's Keith Baldy reports, this certainly has shaken everyone in the small town.
Well, neighbors near this home and family of the victim say this is both horrifying and frightening. Horrifying because of the nature of the crime, and frightening because they say they don't know who the person responsible is and where that person might be. Police say 55-year-old Jeffrey Ryan, his 10-year-old son Jesse, and 30-year-old Jason DeHaan, a family friend, were all stabbed to death inside this home on Route 1 in Amity. Authorities believe the person or people who killed them did so early Wednesday morning, then stole Jeffrey Ryan's Ford pickup and took off. Police are not saying if anything else was stolen, exactly where the bodies were found, or if they found a knife inside the house. Jeffrey Ryan's ex-wife says police haven't told her much either.
They were all stabbed, and they said they couldn't tell us much, but Mariah, just as soon as we find out, you'll find out. So it's really sad, and I don't know what to say, but I hope they catch whoever done it.
Real sad.
Police swiftly found fingerprints on a beer bottle inside Jeff Ryan's home. Those fingerprints, it was Thane Ormsby. Police apprehended Thane and they brought him in for questioning on June 29th. And Thane, whoop, slow your roll, folks. I didn't have anything to do with that. This was a week after the triple homicide, and you know, initially very cooperative. Thane, what you want to know? I'll see what I can tell you.
You understand you're not under arrest?
Yes, I understand.
Okay.
I mean, I'd be a little bit shocked if I were under arrest, to tell you the truth.
So would I, but...
And I'm here to cooperate.
We're talking about what type of person would do this. Yeah. Cold, greedy, heartless.
Someone just with no love for life. No love.
Motherfucker! Do you... Let's go, y'all. I ain't even finna go on no tangent, but do y'all hear this guy? Let's go.
For things that grow.
Can you think of any good reason for something like this to happen?
Any good reason for something like this to happen? No. I cannot think of any good reason something like that could happen.
But he said he had no involvement. He had been to Jeff's place before. He kind of sort of knew him. He'd done some yard work for him, and well, guess what? He'd had a few beers with old Jeffy about 2 weeks before the murders. Thane knew his fingerprints would be found on beer bottles inside the house. Something which he did mention, but I mean, come on, guys. I mean, it was 2 weeks ago. It's not very relevant.
Mowing the lawn. He stopped mowing the lawn, talked to me, invited me in, said, have a beer. And I come in and I have a beer with him. And he shows me around the house. And that's the only visit, though, that I made with Jeff.
But of course, it's very unlikely they were from 2 weeks previous. This was a fact the police used to start pressuring Thane. A Thane who keeps coming across as someone who truly feels, very self-important. Someone with a strong moral compass, yet at the same time, decides to murder 3 people.
So you got 3.
Brothers and sisters, I don't know why I'm feeling like this watching this video, man, but I really thought like this dude wasn't gonna come in here with this type of attitude. I don't know why, but I felt like that. But what I mean by attitude is I didn't think he was gonna come in here on this lying shit like he perfectly innocent. And you know what I'm saying, man? I don't know why I thought that this time it may be different. I'm stupid for even thinking that way. But I ain't expect for him to come in here with this ridiculous line ish like I have nothing to do with it. I don't know who you talking about. And the line that really killed me that he said was when he was like, whoever did this have no care for life. Mother, you talking about yourself. And he just so nonchalant and so just, he one of those type that think that he not gonna get caught almost. Or he either one of those type that think that he actually didn't do it himself. He didn't convince his damn self that he ain't do it. Or he know he did it, but he just so fucking crazy that he think he gonna actually get away with it. I don't fucking know, y'all. I expected something better than this. And this dude on that same type of craziness that a lot of these fucking serial killers be on. I digress. Let's go.
People did, so that's why it makes it very relevant.
I understand.
Especially when people are not telling the truth.
I understand, but I mean, I had nothing to do with it.
Okay, it's truth.
I know you want the truth,
Okay.
but I'm gonna have to plead the fifth
Okay, all right. Does that mean you want to stop talking? Or?
for a minute.
Well, now we have a problem.
Why?
All right. Inside that trailer, there's a ball sitting there, 3 balls. And in that trailer also, we have your DNA and fingerprints on one of the balls. See this picture? Yes. 3 balls, right? Mm-hmm. This one's yours. One of these is Jason, and one of these is Jeff. But you see my problem. This ball here belongs to Jason, who we never met.
Whom I've never met.
No way in hell that ball sat there for 2 weeks. If anything, it sat there for a couple hours.
It didn't take long for Thane to be squealing like a little piggy. Once police told him they'd found his DNA evidence at the trailer, he basically admitted defeat. The jig was up. And he said to the cop, well, how detailed do you want me to be? And the cop responded,
As much as you can.
So what, just walk through my memories. What do you remember?
Walk me through it.
to which Thane very calmly said,
I'm already guilty. I might as well.
Right.
Okay, so I'll start from the beginning. I show up.
Well, at least he telling the truth now, y'all. But Jesus Christ, just the way that he talking about it, like he don't freaking like it's not emotionally hitting him. You know what I'm saying? Just the way he like, all right, well, I'm guilty now. I might as well just tell y'all what happened. Like what he did is not that serious to him, but it's serious as hell to me. You know what I'm saying? You murdered 3 people, bro, but you talking like you ain't do nothing. I don't know, y'all. It's just crazy. But let's hear what the hell he got to say.
And I just realized when I was taking a pee that the word they use for me is homicidal maniac. So I suppose I'll be considered crazy by people even if I'm really crazy or not. This is the first time I've cried.
Yeah. Let it out. It's a lot to absorb, buddy. It's a lot to process. I'm gonna go get him his coffee. Do you wish to answer questions at this time?
Yes, sir.
You do. Where do you want to start?
Where would you like to start?
When did you go up there that night?
Tuesday night.
Tuesday night? What
Before
time was
dark.
it? Before dark?
6, 7.
Jason was there at this point?
Jason.
Was that the first time you met him?
That was the first
Okay. What happened?
I killed him
You killed Jeff. And how did you do that?
with a knife. Obviously, this is premeditated murder, is the term you use for it.
I don't know.
Yes, it is.
It is?
It is.
You did you go there planning to kill him?
Yes.
You did.
I just gotta say real quick, y'all, I do not buy his bullshit ass crying for not 1 second. You can say the tears, bro. Those 3 people, families and friends, they have shared enough tears. You ain't got to shed none. We don't care nothing about your damn tears. And I don't even think that shit genuine anyway. Let's go.
He went on to walk through the entire incident with the police. During this interrogation, which you are now seeing, he shows very little remorse, tears for the people he killed very brutally and horrifically. I mean, people always describe him, he's on the cross country team, he's on the wrestling team, so he was strong and fast. Because one thing his teammate said is that he's freaking tough. And he used that toughness to murder 2 men and a 10-year-old boy.
So you go in.
So like I said, everything was going fine, and I've been talking about spending the winter in the forest, just camping out.
In the forest, you
yeah,
said? Okay.
Building a hut.
Sure.
And he said, oh, I got nails. He took me to the shed to show me nails, and I stabbed him in the back.
He's saying, stop it. Okay. Yeah. You don't say anything else. Okay. He's down, and you
I
leave
go
him
back
there.
in. I leave him there, and I go back in. Stab Jason, and Jesse ran to the back room.
He didn't even get choked up when he was describing murdering a child. He simply said Jesse had been the quickest to go and that Jesse had told Thane he was scared.
So I chased Jesse, and he was the quickest. He just said he was scared. The families don't need to know that.
No. We do.
That's what I'm saying, y'all. They go back to what I was talking about earlier, man. Like, he just talking about it like he trying to give on that fake, like, oh, like he really hurt, but all of us can see through that BS. But he just the way he talking about it is so just regularly, man. And also what I was talking about earlier, the way he just described how he killed the one dude outside, then he went back in the house, killed the other dude, then chased the little boy and then killed him. Like, bro, you had enough time to just snap out of your rage. Like, you can't just claim that this was just a fit of rage. You methodically killed all them. Oh, this is terrible, y'all. It's terrible.
But why? So why commit this horrifying act against 3 people? It's not believed they had any beef at all. Like, they hadn't even been living here long enough to have beef with them.
Because of the things he's done to other people. Because of what he is. Was.
What's going through your head right now?
I'd rather die. Honestly, to spend an entire life in prison as a slave, when everything I've studied and everything I've believed and everything has led me to believe
that freedom is the most important thing there is.
What would you like to have happen?
The best possible outcome from this,
Realistically.
realistically.
Of course.
I mean, obviously, the families need to know what happened. If they deserve an apology, it won't be much.
Yeah, I was going to say, what should we tell the family? What do you want us to tell the family? What do you want us to tell the little boy's mother?
That it wasn't personal. That I'm sorry. What can you tell her, honestly?
I don't know.
I can't bring him back from the dead. You can't send me to Hades.
No. But you put him there. You killed his son. What do you want us to say to the mother? Or what do you want us to say to Jason's wife and 3 little kids? What would happen if you got away with this? We didn't catch you. Would you have continued? You think you would have done this again?
No.
When asked about a motive, Thane said he believed that Jeffrey Ryan was a notorious local drug dealer. He was dealing the Devil's Dandruff, the Schnockta, the Mary Jane, the worst of the worst, you know what I mean? And that he was evil. So evil, in fact, that Thane Ormsby says he's got to go. He's got to go. He thought he was doing good.
And my idea is to kill Jeff Ryan, take his truck, and kill Alvin Silsby because they were bad people and they hurt people. I did.
Are you fucking kidding me? Not only did you freaking lie about even having anything to do with this, you know what I'm saying? You act like you wasn't there, ain't have nothing to do with this at first. Then we catch you in that lie. So now you admit to do it, but you still trying to flip the script and say the reason you did it because they was freaking drug dealers. Or one of them was a drug dealer. But even if that one is a drug dealer and you kill him for him being a drug dealer, he's a bad person or whatever. Why did you kill the other one, and especially the little 10-year-old boy? What did this little 10-year-old boy have to do with any of this? It is so crazy to hear him try to flip the script again. He flipped it at first, and we flipped it back to the truth, and now he's trying to flip it to another goddamn page. This man is freaking unbelievable, y'all. Some people are just, Jesus effing Christ. My brothers and sisters, is this life? Let's go.
And I thought it was some means of justification. I thought something good could grow from taking away them.
Mm-hmm.
Good things could grow where evil was destroyed. You might not see it like that, but it's quite possible that these families will now become closer or stronger where they weren't. That maybe those children might be better growing up without their father.
I'm about to cut this goddamn video off, man. Out of all the freaking my brothers and sisters, what number we on? 465? 66. We on 466. I don't think I ever freaking heard a freaking murderer sit right there and literally let come out his mouth that maybe it's good that I killed their daddy. Maybe this is a good thing. Maybe they will be happier now. Maybe they will be more together now than anything. I don't know what's wrong with this guy. But I just hope he get life in prison without parole, y'all. At the very least. This is crazy.
As for the boy, he was so young. Too young.
Now, Jeffrey was a disabled veteran and suffered from a back injury. So he did have a prescription for a narcotic painkiller, but, a criminal background check would show he had no offenses even close to drug trafficking. Both men, Jeff and Jason DeHaan, did have minor offenses, but minor on the minor scale. Jeff, back in 1992, was fined $100 for disorderly conduct, and Jason, in 2004, was convicted of driving under the influence. He spent 7 days in jail for that one and was fined $400 and spent 1 year on probation. But nowhere even remote. You can't even see it from here. That's how far away this shit is from being some notorious drug dealer who's destroying the local community and needs to be got. Someone needs to go get, and he got. Not at all. No evidence of what Thane was claiming Jeff was ever found, but Thane was also offering no other motive as to why he did what he did. The next piece of evidence kind of threw all sorts of speculation into what really happened in Amity, Maine. So Thane was arrested after that brutally honest interrogation. But guess what? Even before he was arrested, 3 days after the murders, the missing truck, Jeff's missing truck, the missing Ford F-150, that was found. It was found burnt out. This was in Weston, just a 22-minute drive south of Amity. It was completely charred up. As light of the murder suspect made headlines in the news, people started coming out of the woodwork, offering tips and info on both the suspect, Thane, and the victims. One such witness was the owner of Cartelli's Bar and Grill in Dover, about 4 hours away by car, all the way in New Hampshire. Thane was, before he spoke to the police, already getting ready to up sticks once again. You know, get 4 hours away and start fresh. They'll never find me here. Thane had been handing out job applications in Dover before he was arrested. So how did the truck get to Weston? Who drove it there? And if Thane drove it there, how did he get picked up? There's a lot of missing pieces to this jigsaw puzzle. So this is where everything that's in the case and that we know kind of adds up to a question mark, really.
You knew you did it, and you knew that everybody was dead at this point.
I believe so.
You told him? I thought you said you told him what you did. Not any great details, but I killed all 3 of them.
I don't want to get into this part. Bob had no involvement in the murder, no involvement in my thinking.
Thane was living with Robert Strout.
Oh no, man. Bob probably, I'm just saying, y'all, as far as that truck location and all that, it would incline you to believe that somebody else was probably not involved directly with the murder, but maybe the aftermath or something. I don't know. Let's go.
And his wife Joy at the time of the murder. So police brought in Robert and Joy and were like, here, listen, your roomie Thane, we believe he killed 3 people and he's admitting to it. What do you know? You know, just off the dome. Anything strike you as weird about him? Robert, as it turned out, had a lot to say. I mean, until this point, Robert was going, about his don't mind me, going about his day-to-day life, knowing a shit ton. In fact, being a sort of accomplice. And he never thought to kind of divulge this to the police at all until they brought him in. And he was like, oh yeah, now that you mention it, he did kill them, and I kind of sort of helped him clean it up. He said that on the day of the murders, he was sitting on the porch, having a tall boy BL, and then, he sees an F-150 pull up into his driveway, and he sees, that's a bastard, Jeff Ryan's car, who I hate because he divorced my daughter. Oof, I'm gonna have a go at him. When out of the car though, doesn't pop Jeff Ryan, pops Thane Ormsby. Robert does a double take, because Thane is covered in blood from head to toe. According to Robert, once Thane saw that Robert had witnessed him covered in blood, Thane threatened to kill the entire Strout family if he didn't help Thane cover up the crime and get rid of the evidence. So Robert got in his own vehicle and followed Thane to Jeff's truck to Tamara Strout's residence in Weston, where Tamara lived with her daughter Mariah. There he says Thane, took off his clothes, cleaned himself up, burned the bloody clothing. From there, Robert once again followed Thane, who was driving in Jeff's truck. He drove it to this remote-ass road, drove it into a field where, far away from the road where he couldn't see it anymore, and then Thane got out, covered the car in gasoline, covered Jeff's truck in gasoline, and lit that sucker on fire. He then got back into Robert's car, and they drove back to Amity. Thane said,
This is some of the most craziest what is going on type of video we'd ever heard, my brothers and sisters. This man literally knew that this dude had pretty much killed his daughter, ex-husband, baby daddy, you know what I'm saying? Child's father, his grandchild's father. You knew that this dude killed him, and I'm not gonna be stuck on the part that you didn't actually help do it I'm stuck on the part that you didn't tell no freaking body, man. And not even just the part of you kind of helped at the end hide it. I'm just stuck like you didn't tell nobody and you was so nonchalant about it at the end. Like, oh yeah, I forgot to tell y'all about that. You know what I'm saying? When the police asked him, now he like, oh damn, I forgot all about that. Yeah, let me tell you. And now he giving the whole story. Do y'all think he should be charged with something? Like hiding evidence or something, disposing of evidence, getting rid of evidence. I don't know, but it's just so crazy that he was related, not blood related to the victim, but still in a roundabout way. Let's go.
It's done, but he still had a murder weapon, a knife, to get rid of. Thane allegedly threw the knife into like a marsh, somewhere near New Hampshire, near the New Hampshire border. And while he was getting rid of the murder weapon, he thought to himself, may as well start fresh around here. Start handing out job applications. Sure, why not? New Hampshire ain't so bad. So Robert Strout was arrested for his part in covering up the murders. But then, you kind of have this whole thing, because I'm not sure if Thane did this entire thing of his own accord and then Robert was somehow forced, into helping Thane cover it up via threats of violence. Especially because Thane, it's not really believed that he had much beef with Jeff Ryan, whereas Robert Strout was known to have beef with Jeff Ryan. Jason's brother, Jake DeHaan, who was the one who discovered the murder scene, doesn't believe that Thane acted alone. Having been interviewed, he said there was no way this skinny 20-year-old kid took down his much bigger and stronger brother. Given the tie-ins with the Strout family and Jeff Ryan, I think there's a lot someone isn't saying. Did Robert see an impressionable young man down on his luck, willing to do anything for a few dollars? Maybe he saw a solution to a problem, getting someone else to rid his daughter's lover and baby daddy. One of Jeffrey Ryan's daughters, Melanie, said that after her father's property had been cleared after the investigation, Robert Strout just so happened to come around asking after some of Jeffrey's property. Maybe he saw an opportunity, for a low-ball offer. Melanie also pointed out that Robert Strout was interviewed on the news just a few days after the murder, going on about how wonderful Jeff had been and what a great father he was. But yet, during this exact interview, he knew what happened, who did it, and who had helped cover it up.
For family of the victims, it's sickening.
Well, we were quite scared, to tell you the truth, and this is really, for something like this to happen in a small town like this, you just can't believe it. Can't believe it.
I can't believe you sit up there lying through your damn teeth, acting like you don't know what happened to that man and you helped cover it up. That's what I can't believe.
Robert Strout was eventually sentenced to just 4 years for his part of the crime, having reached a plea deal in exchange for testimony against Thane. We'll never know Robert's thoughts or the level of his true involvement. Robert Strout passed away December 2015, and there's not a lot on his passing or really any kind of obituary. His wife Joy passed in 2013. There is another motive being kind of speculated on, is that Thane was in a relationship with Mariah, who was the daughter of Jeff Ryan and Tamara Strout. And Mariah was only 16 years of age. Thane was 20, and that's also been, speculated as a motive for why Thane killed Jeffrey Ryan. Because, Thane was basically told, stay away from Mariah by Jeff. And Thane didn't take too kindly to that. So then he went up to Jeff's place, deciding he's going to end this one way and one way only. But he had no idea that a 10-year-old boy would be there who just so happened to be visiting for Father's Day, and that also Jason would be there who just so happened to pop in, while he was driving past.
And set to be arraigned in a courtroom in New Hampshire as a man accused of stabbing 3 people to death in northern Maine. Now, on Friday, police arrested 20-year-old Thane Ormsby from the town of Orient. Police say he's been staying in Dover, New Hampshire with a friend. Ormsby's accused of killing 30-year-old Jason DeHaan, 55-year-old Jeffrey Ryan, and Ryan's 10-year-old son, Jesse. Their bodies were found at a home in the town of Amity. That's just outside Holton. That was nearly 2 weeks ago now. According to police affidavits, Ormsby admitted to investigators that he stabbed all 3.
There's really 3 theories as to why this triple murder occurred. One is that Thane did for some reason come to believe that Jeff was in fact a drug dealer for whatever reason. He had mental health issues, this was a delusion he had, and so he killed, or it had to do with Mariah, Jeff and Tamara's daughter, Bob Strout's granddaughter, that he was told to stay away from her, and he didn't like that. Second,
I'll go with that theory about it had to do with the granddaughter, and he was told to stay away because he freaking 20 and she was 16, you know what I'm saying, and he ain't like that, and maybe that's the reason he killed. But that whole thing about the drug dealer story, man, he made that up, y'all. He made that up. That's one of his narratives, and that's not a narrative that I would push. I'm not pushing it.
He just invented the drug dealer aspect, and he simply had an urge to kill, and so invented the reason. Finally, is that Bob Strout was whispering in Thane's ear, and that egged him on to murder, and that maybe Thane wasn't alone that day. Thane seems like he was a lost guy, whatever his reasoning for murdering 2 men and a young boy. Thane Ormsby went on trial in 2012 and boldly pleaded not guilty due to insanity. That was not found to be believable. During the victim impact statements, Thane once again showed no remorse, and nor did he address the court or offer any apology whatsoever. In the end, Thane was sentenced to 3 life sentences for murder and convicted for arson for the burning of Jeff's truck.
Wearing a pinstripe suit, Ormsby had to wipe the tears from his eyes as his mother described the long way she says he has come after a childhood of abuse and neglect. Maria Ormsby said she was proud of Thane, who recently earned his high school degree from behind bars. But upon receiving his sentences for stabbing to death Jeffrey Ryan, his 10-year-old son Jesse, and Jason DeHaan, Ormsby did not shed a single tear.
For the murder of Jeffrey Ryan, it is my sad but solemn duty to sentence you to life in prison. For the murder of Jesse Ryan, it is my sad but solemn duty to sentence you to life in prison. And for the murder of Jason DeHaan, it is my sad but solemn duty to sentence you to life in prison.
I just gotta say something real quick, man. The freaking judge killing me, y'all. He's saying it's my sad but solemn duty to sentence you to life in prison. You know what I'll be saying? It's my happy and humble duty to sentence your ass to life in prison, bitch. Like, that's how I'll be talking to the motherfucker, y'all. Fuck that. Fuck him, man. And like I said earlier, too, he can keep all the fucking tears to himself. We don't even want those tears. The freaking family has shed enough tears, and they continue to shed them to this day. And you had the audacity to sit right there and say that maybe this is a good thing. Maybe this is a good thing for their family that the father did, that I did that. What's wrong with you? I'm glad he got 3 times life in prison. Let's go.
Feeling what's going to happen is I'm either going to die in prison or be committed to a death sentence.
Bang on the money, Thane. He appealed 3 times. All 3 times he failed. I mean, he confessed. What's he appealing? He's now 34 years of age, and it's likely he will be in prison for the rest of his life. Though he seems to be doing all right in prison. He seems to be pretty good at woodworking. So there's that. So a triple murder was solved, a gruesome ass triple murder, but some part of it feels unsolved. It definitely feels like there's a lot more here than just a 20-year-old kid rocks up and murders 3 people very brutally. Just a little bit in the middle, you know? Thane seems like he was a gypsy. He was roaming Maine to find who knows what. I don't know what he was looking for, but I can't imagine he was looking to stab 3 people to death.
Crazy, man.
Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you watching this whole video. Next whole video will be up in a couple of days, so please look forward to that. We're going to be looking at some... What are we looking at soon, Mikey Moo? We're looking at some Infinite Mysteries. Some more of those fun-ass body cam videos. We're looking at some weird TikTok murderers. We're looking at some creepy places out of a dark history. Mainly murder and death. Specifically, maybe a road of death, maybe a lake of death, and of course, it's more true crime. Because that's that chapter. Everything horror is that chapter. But until I see you in the next whole video, just take care of each other and yourselves. Because I love you. Mike out. Mike out.
Mike out, man. Mike out with another great video, y'all. That was an amazing what is going on type of video, man. Oh my God, my brothers and sisters. I could talk about this one for an hour. Like, literally, man. I'm just happy at the end of the day that he did get life in prison, y'all. And he ain't got a chance in hell of getting out. He one of those type that ain't got a chance in hell of getting out. But there is one thing that I want to say, man. even though these people, the ones that do get life in prison, because you know we watch a lot of videos, y'all, where these motherfuckers be getting back out. They spend like 2-3 years in prison, or some kind of way the verdict get overturned. All type of crazy BS be happening. But even for the ones who do serve life in prison, it still just sucks at the end of the day, because it will not bring back those 3 victims, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm just thinking about that little boy. That's the one that just, like, dude, you had no freaking reason. That boy didn't pose no threat to you. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you can make the argument that the adults did. Even if they did, it's still not excusing nothing. But for me, man, it's just this one, like, dude killed a little boy for no reason. And like I was talking about, y'all, he ain't just killed them all at once or in a matter of a minute or a couple of seconds. This took a while, and he knew what the freak he was doing and all his lying. We went for a ride on this one, my brothers and sisters. Like, all his freaking lying that he was doing. Then he finally confessed to it. Now he's switching it to that the reason I did it because this guy's a drug dealer and blood. Like, this dude was just freaking crazy, man. And it's so crazy too, because if we go all the way back to the backstory at the very beginning, this was one of those dudes who got a lot of help from a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? But he ain't want to be saved. Don't save him. He don't want to be freaking saved. And Jesus Christ, he wasn't trying to save nobody else either. He did take other people's lives. And real quick about Bob, Robert Strout, whatever. It's ridiculous watching him on that newscast talk. And then we know that he had something to do with it, y'all. I'm pretty sure that well, shit, I take that back. He had ended up admitting to it. But he was like, oh, I forgot to tell y'all that. How the hell you forget to tell people that, man? But what I really want to say for real is I think he had even more to do with it than maybe that, man. Maybe he helped plot this whole thing out, because I don't even think the reason that we got from Thing or why he really did this is enough. Like, this one right here, my brothers and sisters, and I know I just said that I can talk for an hour, and I almost went on that tangent where we were finna go down a rabbit hole, and I was gonna be right here talking for a freaking hour. But I'm gonna shut the hell up now, man. I'm gonna go and let y'all go, my brothers and sisters. I digress. But before I let y'all go, please go and hit that like button, comment, subscribe if you ain't did that yet. And come on back tomorrow for another one. And I don't know who we going to tomorrow, y'all. I don't know. It's going to be a surprise, man. It's going to be a surprise. But until then, my friends, y'all also got to remember this. Love, peace, and happiness. Stay safe. Don't stop. Keep going. Yeah.